I'm talking to Edwin Davis. I've worked in circles with Edwin over the past couple of years, but this is the first time we've actually met.
Hey.
Since we've all been working remotely, and it is awesome to finally meet you in person.
Absolutely.
So you were telling us about your background and things that brought you to being a data warehouse expert and working with data.
Absolutely.
You say that you actually started in the military.
I did. Back in the old days when computing was very primitive, but I had an early interest in computing. I mean, even from the days of Star Trek and Atari and all that good stuff. So I always knew I wanted to do computing. And I got a foray in the Marine Corps dabbling with computing. But my real interest came in '95 when I got out of the military and what I call the dawn of the internet, because that's when, of course, everything was being called the World Wide Web, and it was all things internet and all that good stuff. So that really propelled me into technology.
Awesome. All right. What's unique about ThreeCloud culture?
I would say what's unique is, at least in my experience, having worked in this field for about the last 20 years, is just the depth of the talent. I mean, that's an extreme depth of talent. And with folks from different backgrounds in terms of sizes of data, what systems they've worked with, whether it's big data, whether it's relational or reporting systems. So the level of professionals that we have at ThreeCloud has been amazing just to be able to see and learn from. So that's pretty unique in my experience with companies.
What's the most interesting project that you've worked on recently? Tell us a little bit about it.
You know what? I would say most interesting would probably be a DBA project that I did many years ago in the early days of working with the legacy company. And it was in Miami, so it was pretty challenging in terms of actually working with a client and having to deal with a lot of production type stuff. It was a little bit outside of the box in terms of my expertise, being that I mostly do data warehousing and reporting. But I had to do a lot of DBA stuff and just production type DBA work. So I found that a pretty interesting and challenging work.
What's fulfilling about that kind of work?
In my experience, in terms of what's most fulfilling is probably database and data warehousing. To me, it's almost like solving puzzles. You try to understand it and get a picture of what the pieces are, and then you actually put it together, and finally you deliver this long product that you may have been working on or designing for several months. And then when it's finally delivered, it's that satisfaction of the masterpiece. So
nice.
That's how I would describe it.
So you work pretty hard. You're pretty dedicated.
Sure.
How do you unplug?
For me, it's generally like all the time. My thought process is wind down should happen every day. So for me, it's music. I'm always playing music. So there's going to be music in the background, and I go all types of music, whether it's going to be some old school music like Marvin Gaye or something like that, or it's going to be something really current. I won't tell you. You'll have to Google it. You know what I mean? Whether it be like Migos or something like that. But so music all the time. So lots of genres of music in terms of current music or really old school. So I'm into music. I like to travel. You know what I mean? Road trips are always really cool. Or jumping on an airplane and finding a beach somewhere. If I live somewhere, I have one rule. Preferably within an hour of a beach. I'm not surfing and nothing. I just want to see the ocean somewhere, sometime. I'm from Florida, so beaches are wind down.
All right. So we were chatting earlier, and you shared an interesting fact about in your earlier years when you were doing road trips across the United States.
Yep.
You set a record.
Yes.
What was that record?
Well, it depends. I set a couple of records. The most interesting record was...
I'm talking about the traffic violation.
Oh, that one. Well, the way I described it was, I was once asked in the military how I managed to get a ticket in each state going from the West Coast to the East Coast. And I said, I was traveling long distance, so I wanted to get there fast. I didn't want to take such a long time. But I was told that basically I didn't know I didn't realize how they had managed to get me. And they said, did it ever occur to you that they just called ahead? So
right. So was the state patrol would call from one state to another? Saying,
absolutely.
We decided this guy and he's heading your way.
Absolutely. And
That's
they were cheating. They
Yep.
were essentially cheating. That's how they got me. So that's the record I set, is one speeding ticket in each state in about a day and a half.
All right. Edwin, great to finally meet you in person.
Same here.
All right. Thank you, sir.